friends, it's Miss Foss. I'm so happy to be here with y'all today. We're going to be reading and retelling familiar parts of the story. So today we have the I can statements, and today at the end of the lesson you're going to be able to say, I can tell about characters in the story, that's the people, or it's the animals in the story. We're reading a story with animals today. I can tell about the setting of the story. That means that you can talk about where the story happened, and you can tell another person what happened in the story. So those are our 3 goals of today, but before we get started, if you've ever been in my classroom before, we always go over a few sight words. So we're going to start. How it will go is I'll read the word, you'll say the word, and then you can either write it in the air or write it on paper, and then I'll give you a sentence, and you can make up your own sentence. First word, did. So if you're writing it in the air, it will go like this. D-I-D. Did. Does yours look like that? Say it again and write it. D-I-D. Did. My sentence for did is, you did it. You wrote a sight word. Can you think of a sentence for did? Tell the person watching with you. Next word, get. G-E-T. Get. Get is the sight word. Spell it again. G-E-T. Get. Can I get a snack? That's my question, which is a sentence about the word get. Can I get a snack? The next word is come. C-O-M-E, come. If you're writing it, it goes like this. C-O-M-E, come. Great job, friends. My sentence for come is, come and get your dinner. That's our sentence for come. C-O-M-E, come. Next word is made. Made goes like this. M-A-D-E. Made. Made is our sight word, and this is the sentence. I made you cookies. Made. All right. Some other things you can do with your sight words if you're practicing at home is to write your sight words and then color over them in different colors. Or your other choice is you can use shaving cream or paint to write your sight words. Now we're going to get into our story for today. Today we're reading the book, May I Come In? Now, to do that, this is the book that we're reading today called May I Come In. The first thing I want to talk about is the author. The author is Marcia Diane Arnold. What is the author's job? Think about it. If you said that the author writes the words of the story, kiss your brain. All right, our next part of the book is the illustrator. The illustrator of this book is Jeannie Poe. What does the illustrator do in the book? If you said the illustrator draws the pictures, kiss your brain. All right, we're going to get started. The rain poured, raccoon shivered. Thunder roared, raccoon quivered. Lightning flashed, raccoon hid his head under his arms. Being alone on a night like tonight is scary. Raccoon grabbed his umbrella and hurried out the door. Swish, splish, raccoon splashed through the thistle hollow, all the way to Possum's den. Possum, old friend, may I come in? Raccoon shouted over the thunder. What bad luck, Possum replied. My den's too small for one your size. Swish, splish, raccoon splashed on through Thistle Hollow, all the way to Quail's brambles. Quail, my old friend, may I come in? What bad luck, Quail replied. My brambles are tight, you are too wide. Swish, splish, raccoon splashed on through Thistle Hollow, all the way to Woodchuck's hole. Woodchuck, old friend, may I come in? What bad luck, Woodchuck replied. I've only room for one to hide. Raccoon stood there shaking in the rain. His umbrella blew inside out. His fur felt wet and spongy. He sniffled as he thought of spending the night alone. On the edge of Thistle Hollow, beyond the rain and darkness, he saw a tiny light glimmering and shining. Splish, splish, swish, splish, swish, swish, splish. "Rabbit, old friend," called Raccoon doubtfully. "May I come in?" Rabbit opened the door. Behind her, 10 little rabbits hopped and bopped to the raindrops. "Never mind," Rabbit said. "Never mind, Rabbit," said Raccoon, backing away. "Your house is full." "What good luck," said Rabbit. "Come right in. There's always room for a good friend." Rabbit led Raccoon to a cozy chair. 10 little rabbits hopped and bopped. Rain poured, Raccoon smiled. Thunder roared, Raccoon hummed. Lightning flashed. The smell of carrot stew filled Rabbit's home. Soon a knock sounded over the thunder. 3 voices cried out from the rain and darkness. "Being alone at night, on a night like tonight is scary." Rabbit opened the door to Possum, Quail, and Woodchuck. 10 little rabbits hopped and bopped. Rabbit and Raccoon looked at each other and grinned. "What good luck," they said. "Come right in. There's always room for all our friends." The end. So, we just read a book about our friend Raccoon, and the first question I have for you is, who are the characters in the story? The characters in the story, we already know. We had Raccoon, he was the main character, and then we had Otter, Possum, the bird, and the rabbit. So, those are our characters in the story. If you're retelling the story, that's who you would say was in it. The birds is also the quail. The setting, so the places the story happened. Look at the pictures for a second and think, what would I call those places if I was telling it to a friend? The first picture you see, we have Raccoon inside of Raccoon's house, so that's a setting. He was also at Thistlewood Hollow, which is the forest. So if you said Thistlewood Hollow or the forest, kiss your brain. And lastly, he also went to Rabbit's house, which is the tree with the red door. Great job, friends. Now, the other part of the standard that we're working on is we also have to be able to talk about what happened in the story and when it happened. So, first we're going to play a game to talk about what was in the story. You're going to use your thumbs up and your thumbs down to decide if it was in the story or not, okay? So, first part is thumbs up if they ate pizza in the story. Think back to what I read and think, did they eat pizza? If they didn't eat pizza, put a thumb down. If they did eat pizza, put a thumb up. Your thumb should be down, friends. They did not eat any pizza in the story. So thumbs down. Okay, next question. In the story, Raccoon went and asked Otter if there was room in his house for him. Think about it. Did Raccoon go and visit Otter in the story? Thumbs up if he did, thumbs down if he didn't. Friends, if you have a thumbs up, kiss your brain because Raccoon did ask Otter if he could hang out with him during the storm. All right, last question, then we're going to move on to some more fun stuff. Okay, in the story, the rabbit had 5 kids. Thumbs up if the rabbit only had 5 kids. Thumbs down if the rabbit had more than 5 kids. Think about it. You should have a thumbs down because Rabbit had 10 kids in the story. There was 10 little rabbits jumping around her house. I know y'all did a great job with that. All right, So now we're going to play a little bit different of a game. I'm going to show you a sentence, or I'm going to show you a picture from the story and read a sentence. As I read the sentence, I want you to say if it happened at the beginning of the story, at the middle of the story, or at the end of the story, okay? So I'll read it and think about, did Miss Foss read that to me at the beginning, so at the very first part of the story? Did it happen in the middle, which was kind of the longest part of the story? Or did it happen at the end of the story? It was one of the last things she read to me, okay? That's how you can think about it. So, when did this happen in the story? Raccoon got scared at his house. Okay, think about it. When was Raccoon at his house? Was he at his house at the beginning of the story, at the middle of the story, or at the end of the story? Well, I know that Raccoon was at Rabbit's house at the end of the story. So that means that at the beginning of the story, Raccoon was at his house. So I'm going to say Raccoon was scared at his house at the beginning of the story. Kiss your brain if you thought the same thing. Next, Raccoon went to Rabbit's house. All right, I just told y'all, I just gave you the hint of when it happened, so think about it for a second. When did Raccoon go to Rabbit's house? Was it at the beginning of the story? Was it the very first thing we saw? Was it kind of in the middle? Or was it one of the last things we read about? Was Raccoon going to Rabbit's house? If you said that Raccoon going to Rabbit's house was towards the end of the story, kiss your brain. Good job, friends. All right, now all the friends came to Rabbit's house. Was that at the beginning, the middle, or the very end of the story? Think about it. Did all the friends come to Rabbit's house at the very beginning? No, because then Raccoon wouldn't have asked to go to their houses, right? Did they come to it at the very middle? No, because there was still more story. At the end, all the friends came to Rabbit's house. So that was at the very end. So first Raccoon came, which was kind of the end, and then at the very end, all the friends were at Rabbit's house. Y'all are doing excellent. Okay, now I have to know, we have a beginning and we have an end, but we don't have a middle, okay? So I want you to listen to me read this and decide if this is the middle of the story or not, okay? Ready? Raccoon asked his friends if they wanted to be together. They all said no. So did Raccoon ask his friends to come in to their house or to go into their houses at the beginning of the story, the middle of the story, or at the end? If you said that all the friends said no to Raccoon during the middle of the story, kiss your brain. You are so smart. All right, so let's review. At the beginning of the story, talk to your parents or talk to your siblings or talk to whoever you're watching this with and share what happened at the beginning of the story. Look at the picture and then use your words to describe what happened in a sentence, okay? So my sentence would be something like this. At the beginning of the story, Raccoon was scared to be in his house alone during the storm. Did yours sound like that? All right, now we're going to go to the middle. All right. During the middle of the story, Raccoon went to Otter's house, Quail's house, and Possum's house to ask if they could stay there, or to ask if Raccoon could stay there. And then they said no, so he went to Rabbit's house. At the end of the story, Rabbit said that all the friends could come in, and all the friends stayed together during the storm. So our picture, if we drew a storyboard of all of our pictures, it would look like this. We'd have Raccoon scared, then all the friends he went to ask if he could stay with them, and then at the end, we would have all the friends together at Rabbit's house. And that's all I have for y'all today. Thank you so much for joining me, and I hope you have a great, great, great day.